Creating walls and setting boundaries are not the same thing. Don't get confused. One is very healthy and one is not. So, welcome to This Tree and Me. I'm Cory J. Riggs. We're going to talk about boundaries. Creating boundaries is for you. Creating a wall is an argument, if you will. It's set for someone specific. They're not going to do this to me. They're not going to do this to me. That's not healthy. That is something that can be broke through. That is something that can be tore down. A wall is meant to be broke through and tore down. Walls don't last forever, right? Don't confuse the two. Walls aren't a bad thing. Sometimes you need to set up a wall to protect yourself, but they're not a long-term solution. A boundary is something you create for yourself. It doesn't have to be spoken. It's for you. You are the one who follow it. You don't put it onto others. You don't set it out to others like you're not going to do this. Absolutely not. I will even challenge you to start with setting boundaries for yourself. For instance, I'm going to wake up every morning and if at X time, and if I don't, that's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to eat after X time. I'm going to go to work at this time. Whatever it is, set a boundary to start. Something for you that you have control of. Nobody else has control over these boundaries. Boundaries are to help you get rid of things that you are not, things that you don't want in your life. So the easiest way to do that is start with yourself. We all have things that we want to get rid of. That is the best solution to all of it. If you're not finding the happiness, the joy, whatever, at least you're hopefully getting less pain out of life, right? Less struggle. And that's a start. That's a win, right? Yes, we want to be happy. Yes, we want to be joyous. Yes, we want to live in love. But if you start eliminating the things that you are not and the things that you will not allow in your life, that will change everything for you. That's where to start. The boundaries will just continue to grow from there, and you will stop accepting from others what you no longer accept from yourself. It is really that simple to say. It's never that easy. I work diligently every single day on my boundaries for myself. And I fail. And I start again. And I fail. And I start again. But I get confidence because I get competence in it. I just grow in it. So one thing that I was sitting there thinking of the other night. So before I get to that, let's do a couple things. One, I'm a Man United fan. We're not doing very well right now. For those who don't know, that's a premier soccer team out of Manchester City in England. They are not very good right now, but they beat Liverpool today, so I'm very happy. I helped my Gunner fans out with staying top of the table, so I had to represent this. Number two, you will see me glancing over every now and then at a notebook that I have. I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional with the messages that I give and things like that instead of just free flowing. I'm going to free flow some. It's just the way I work. I do get in rants, but I just want to give you that heads up because I want to get better at this. I want to grow. Eventually, yes, I hope to get a teleprompter or something that I can see in front of me. That's not the important part of this right now, right? I'm finding my feet in this. So again, I've set boundaries for myself. It's okay if this isn't perfect. I'm not going to beat myself up. It's okay if I mumble and stumble on words. I'm not going to beat myself up. The more that I found that I do that, the less that I accept or that I lean on the failure. Example, waking up in the morning. I have set alarms every morning, very early. And when I choose to sleep in one morning, I beat myself up that morning and just eat myself alive about it. Until I set the boundary of, if I decide to sleep in, that's okay. My body's telling me I need to. And you know what ended up happening? I ended up doing it a lot less because the voice inside me stopped fighting at me, stopped coming at me because he knew he wasn't going to win. So the other night I was laying in bed and I woke up probably 1:30 and just a lot of thoughts going through my head. This podcast this week on boundaries has really hit home with me extremely hard. It's something that I've really started noticing that this is one of the biggest keys for me, is setting boundaries, and for myself. So it came to me of, think of a garden or a beautiful lawn, right? I think of those things because I like to go out and ground, and we've talked about that a lot. So building a wall would be putting a fence there and being that old man on the porch, don't come in my yard, right? All that. Building a fence, not allowing other people to enjoy your beautiful lawn, your beautiful garden, enjoy the grass, the flowers, whatever it is. Setting boundaries, you don't need that fence. If someone comes on and they put on cleats or football studs and they tear up your yard trying to do, some workouts, well, then you go have a talk with them. Hey, that's not what this yard is for. I'd greatly appreciate it if you didn't do that. And then if they break it again, then that's where you can start taking that away. But you don't want to limit people and yourself the enjoyment of a beautiful life, of something that you're creating in love and beauty. You want to share that with the world, just like I want to share this with the world. And I understand that there's going to be people that come at me at this. People from my past, people from my present, and people who don't even know me. Right? They're going to find things to nitpick on this. So what I'm saying is, I've had to set boundaries in my head to be, okay. That's not why I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? What is my why? So I have to set boundaries around that. So it's very, very important that we differentiate between a wall and a boundary. One is very negative, and it's something that we go to all the time, and people say, oh, when I have a hard time letting down my walls when I meet people and this and that. Don't let down walls. Don't have walls. Walls are meant to be broke through. If you have a wall, they're going to chip at it. And eventually they're going to break through. And that means you're going to succumb back to the life, to making other people happy for your ease of life. And what I'm saying is, that's not the ease of life. If you create boundaries and you simply just keep that to yourself, it's a lot easier to live that way. Okay? Boundaries are extremely difficult to keep. People will misunderstand, right? You'll want to over-explain what you're trying to do or what you're trying to accomplish. No is enough. The simple word no is all the explanation needed. How they take it is them. How they take you getting up from a table, saying, hey guys, had a great night, whatever, I'm going to head out or whatever, without being negative. The negative is the wall. The negative is, hey, you've hit something that hurts me. I'm going to come back at you, and we're going to set this wall here between us, and we're going to see who can break through that wall. Where a boundary is just, hey, I'm going to get up. I'm going to leave the situation. I'm just going to say no thank you, whatever it is. And I'm simply going to just do it. And I'm going to walk away. If you feel good about the decision, if it gives you peace, if it gives you joy, if it gives you more happiness, that's what you're looking for. How other people take it is not your concern. It's not for them. It's for you. It's to find less pain in your life. Getting rid of what you are not is really the key to all this. We all talk about and shooting for, hey, I want to live my best life. I want this. I want that. I want to become this. When that's sometimes very difficult. So if you think about it as a goal, I want to make $1 million. Let's just say that everyone's had that millionaire aspiration in their life. I'd assume. I have. I'm assuming that's more of a common thing, or I just want to be financially successful. However you want to say it. That is a goal. Okay, how do you get there? If all you do is focus on that goal and you don't achieve it, you're just, every day that you get further away from it, you're going to sink down and down and down. But if you create boundaries around that financial goal of, all right, I want to become this, well then every paycheck, there's X amount or X percentage that always goes into a savings account that I don't touch, or a fund, or whatever you want to do with it. That's setting a boundary for yourself that you have complete control over, nobody else. Because that's the other part of it. When you set boundaries of, I'm going to do X, and I'm going to make sure that this person doesn't get in my way, you've just defeated your whole objective. That goal will not take place. It just will not happen because you're putting the power into somebody else's hands. You're the owner of this. You're the judge of yourself. You're the creator of your own life. Start with the small, simple boundaries around yourself that you and only you have control over. And what you'll find, what I have found, is that those boundaries start reflecting outward. Meaning, when you start telling yourself, I'm going to stop doing this to myself, whatever, self-talk, that I can't do this or I can't achieve this or whatever it is. When you start accepting less of that noise from yourself, and you start turning it into a challenge almost, like, how can I learn from this? Why is it doing this to me? Turn it around and you start winning those little simple battles, you will find that you will start having those same expectations or boundaries of others without even putting it out there. You will not accept others coming at you if you're not coming at you in that aspect. The reason we allow people to verbally abuse us, physically abuse us, take advantage of us, whatever that situation is, when we allow that, it's because we do it to ourselves every single day. I've often talked about on here, excuse me, something that happened in my life years and years ago when I was just a young kid. Why did I still beat myself up about that today? One, it happened then. It's not still happening now. Why am I still blaming them for that now? That's over with. So set that boundary. I had to set it for myself. Like, look, I have to set this boundary. No longer am I going to allow that to feed my head. Okay? Now, once you win that boundary, another one's going to come. And you just got to keep creating more boundaries for yourself and fighting through them and getting through them. And you'll find it becomes easier. It really does. And you'll start enjoying the challenge, and you'll start letting go of things you don't want to be and that you don't want in your life. Now, the challenge in this is, one, it takes a lot of hard work, guys. I can sit here and talk about it all day long, but to tell you exactly what I go through every day to be the happier, kinder, loving, more empathetic person that I'm trying to become, it takes constant effort. And once you break one level, we talked about this before, you're going to hit another one. But then it's going to be easier. You're going to have a blueprint of what boundaries to set and how to set them and how to live by them to get to that next level. So I hope I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, with also the understanding I'm not here trying to sell, if you do this, you're going to be okay. There's no shortcuts, right? Excuse me. Because the other part of this is, I personally have always told people when I'm trying to lose weight or I'm doing this, or even when I started on this journey, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to do this. And I had to let everybody know. But all that did is put expectations from myself from them. It wasn't their expectations. I gave them the power to have those expectations. And if I don't make it, or if I don't succeed, then they're going to look and judge because I'm judging myself. Boundaries are simply for you. Be quiet about them, set them, live by them, and I promise you, people will notice, right? They will start changing, and if they don't, but they will start changing the way they interact with you, or they won't interact with you at all. Either way, it's a win. That said, it can get lonely. If you're not willing to be alone in this journey, to find your space for your personal self, your family members, your loved ones, friends, it's going to take a minute. It's going to be very difficult. You're going to spend a lot of time by yourself in this because the people that are around you currently know you one way, right? I look at it August 1st, 2022. I'm going to say that date a lot in my life. And I'm going to continue going back to that date because it's very important to me. It's the date that I changed my diet. And I set the boundary of, all right, no more bread, no more sugar. Carnivore, right? I didn't do vegetables. I didn't do fruits. I did meat, a lot of eggs. I love eggs. A lot of eggs. A little bit of dairy, that fluctuated a bit. And as I got comfortable with it and I started losing weight, people noticed. So I start telling them everything I'm doing. We go out and they, at first it's, oh, can we go there? Cory doesn't this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, guys, do whatever you want. This is my life. I will make it work. Right? I also had to wrap my head around the boundary of, okay, I'm not allowing this, but when we go out to eat, let's just say I love wings, right? I'm a big wing guy. Dry rubs, I have to understand that there's going to be a little bit of sugar in them. There just is. They're going to fry them in the oil. Some places use beef tallow, but most use an oil that I wouldn't put in my body. So, one, either I don't ever go out to eat with people, or I go out to eat and I just sit there and don't eat, which is fine too. Or I just get okay with, I'm going out tonight, I'm going to have X, and it's going to have a little bit of something that I don't put in my body right now. That's my boundary. And that is my boundary to move. I am not allowing others to move my boundaries. Those are walls. The difference a little bit, I'm hoping that I'm explaining this in a decent way. And then over time, I got to a point, okay, I can expand my boundaries on my food. What vegetables work? What fruits work? Still, to this day, no breads. I remember one time, guys, I thought I was driving, I forgot where we were going, but I was on a trip. I think we were going to Wichita. Another time, like this is early on, maybe a year into my carnivore thing, and I thought I was getting some pork skins, and they ended up not being pork skins, and I got about halfway through the bag, and I was like, just a small bag, but I got halfway through and I'm like, this doesn't feel right, taste right, and I read the bag and I was like, holy crap. Now, they weren't completely unhealthy, but they weren't something that I was putting in my body at the time. I took the bag, threw it away, and I told myself, it's okay. You're going to make mistakes. Then, there's so many more other times that I can tell you about that I did little things like that, where previously I would have ate myself alive mentally about it. Oh, you failed. It's not that kind of talk, but I feel it. It's a big, hard feeling in my chest and my gut. Like, you can't do this. What are you trying to do? Another example I'll use is the gym. So, as you know, I've talked about this before. So if you're new to this, thank you. First off, thank you for being here. But I've recently started going to the gym I've been going about 2 or 3 months now. And I got a personal trainer. So he's working with me and stuff. And then on my other days, I just go. And just this Wednesday, I was thinking about it. I went there and my mental chatter was so loud and so big from the weekend prior that we've already talked about. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We've already talked about it. And I just didn't want to be at the gym. And this isn't the first time since I've been going that I just didn't want to be there and go full out. But what I've noticed this time is I don't cut short. I don't stop early. I don't leave. In the past, when I was doing it aesthetically for other people, for other people's visions, their aesthetics of me, for the way people looked at me, not for me and my boundaries of I just want to be healthy and no longer am I going to be an unhealthy, angry person, I can get through the workout. And that voice is there. I promise you the entire time, oh, you don't have to go swim. Oh, you don't have to go in the sauna. Oh, you don't have to go do this. Oh, you can cut this rep short. No, I don't. And what I've been finding out is now that I'm starting to fight through those things and just keep working through them. And what I've also, 2 things I found out. One, I go slower. I start taking a little bit more time, just in between reps, change my music maybe a little bit, just calm, breathe, whatever. And the other thing is I start pushing myself even harder. Oh, you want to talk crap? All right, Bubba, you're going to find out exactly what this willpower is all about that's inside of me. So instead of doing 10, I'll do 12. Instead of doing 12, I'll do 15. Whatever it is, I go a little bit extra just to show my boundaries are mine. I own them. If I push them, that's my decision. If I pull them, that's my decision. If it was a wall that I set up and I was having a battle with somebody or something, then that would win more often than not because it wouldn't be true to me. So where I was going a little bit earlier with this was I've always told people what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, all this stuff. And what I found in this journey here specifically is, and I've said it, but it really hits home now. This is my journey. You have to find yours. I can give you examples of what I could do. I can tell you exactly what my day looks like. I can tell you about grounding and this and that. And maybe grounding isn't for you, right? My spiritual healing wellness journey, that is my purpose. Your purpose may be something else, and you want the spirituality side of it because we all need that side of it. We all need that in our lives. So you're going to set the boundary of, okay, I want this, but that's a lot for me, right? That's your choice, not mine. But what I'm finding out is when I'm telling people what I'm doing is, one, sometimes I discourage them because what they're hearing me do is not for them at all. So they think, well, if that's the only way I can become happier, Cory's happier, look at him. He's living life. He's doing his thing. He's always smiling. He's, XXX. I don't want to do all that. That's one. Two is I'm giving them the power to the next time they see me not doing that, because I am going to fail at this at times, and I am going to go outside of my boundaries and say something negative or eat something that I shouldn't or what have you. Now I just gave them the power to look at me and say, oh, see, buddy, you're not doing this. You're not dedicated to your lifestyle, to your new growth pattern. All of this. Boundaries show up in so many different ways. Boundaries can be expectations of myself or others. And I can set boundaries around how I can control my expectations of myself or others. I set boundaries for myself around how other people are going to perceive me. Because I promise you, there's people that perceive me right now that have known me for a while, like, And the other thing that I'm going to say with that, which I'm very happy about, and I'm very early in this, and I understand that The mountain may be this high, it may just be a hill. There is a mountain coming, right? The bigger, longer that I do this, the more that I put out there, the harder that I try at this, the more people that are going to get involved. More people means more yays and nays, right? I am finding that there's a lot of people in my life, like the gentleman that I had lunch with the other day. He's a pastor, and I've known him for a long time. We've talked about this. He's very encouraging. He's very happy to be a part of my journey. We had a great conversation. We would not have had that conversation in the past, right? But him being in my life, he talked to me about how he wanted to have conversations with me prior to this, because probably some of my actions, the way I did things, I have no idea. We didn't get too deep in that. But he didn't. He just calmly and patiently waited. That's a boundary for him. He didn't try to overstep. He didn't try to force his way into my life and into changing my mindset and things like that. So expectations of ourselves and others, we can set boundaries around how others perceive us. That's a big one for me, especially in this. That is a huge fear of being perceived as something that is not cool, is not relevant, is, what is he doing? He's not that guy. He's not a podcaster. Cory can't, what the heck's he trying to do? Any of those things. The understanding that people are going to say what they want and they're going to perceive me the way they are, that is on them. And I've got to set boundaries around myself that I'm not going to get caught up in the assumptions of that. And I'll go back to the first agreements. It's a book that I read or listen to, but I've read it as well many times over. Many times. Still to this day, I listen to it when I'm driving long distance all the time. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Remember the third one I always forget? That's because it's a hard one for me. That's why the mind tries to say, you don't need to remember that one. Anyway, that was for a couple people specifically, because when I tell them about this book, I consistently forget the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. And the fourth one is always do your best. What I have found is when I am impeccable with my word to myself and I set that boundary for myself, like I am no longer going to self-talk bad. And when it happens, I'm going to just say, hey, that's not me. That's one big thing that I say a lot right now. That's not me. That's not me. That's not me. You know when the true you is talking to you. You know when it's coming from your heart. And you know when it's a bunch of stinking garbage. Right? So setting that boundary for myself and saying I'm going to be impeccable with my word to myself has helped me be impeccable with my word to others. Not telling stories to make myself sound great and cool and I was this and I was that and blah, blah, blah. Be impeccable with my word to myself, setting that boundary first, and not making it external, making it internal has helped me tremendously. Because then I also take it to external. And then I also reverse it and take it to what's coming back at me. Being impeccable with my word also means when I hear people saying negative things or bad talking or whatever it is, or trying to pull me into a conversation about others and things like that. We've talked about the coaching thing. It's a hard thing. It's a competitive nature. It's very difficult for me. I'm impeccable with my word to the point to where when I just tell myself, I'm not going to get involved in this. And then when I don't get involved in it, I don't take what they're saying personally. I don't make assumptions about the person or the thing or whatever or myself that we're talking about. And if my best is not good enough that day, or my best is 40% that day, then I just start over instantly. Oh, catch myself. Okay, I can't do this. I've got to stop doing this. It's okay. You're okay. And I give myself grace. The biggest boundary that has helped me is the grace boundary, is what I call mine. My grace boundary is When I succeed, when I fail, when I don't succeed, when I miss my mark, when I don't perfectly nail something, I am going to be okay. It's just a moment. One failure, one hiccup, one bad moment is simply that. It's a moment. It's not your life. It's not who you are. It's not something that you can't recover from. It's just simply a moment. And every moment you can learn from. Every single moment you can turn into something. Why is the voice inside me so loud right now? What doesn't it want me to do? Where am I going that it doesn't want me to go? So giving myself a grace boundary has been absolutely life-changing. Giving myself the permission to mess up, to screw up, to fail has changed my entire thought process of, okay, if I'm allowed to fail, if failure is no longer the fear that keeps me from trying anything, just like this podcasting, just like posting all the stuff that I post on social medias, if I'm no longer afraid of that, then fear is nothing to be fearful of all. I have nothing to fear then. If it was simply just the fear of doing it, because I know that I am not good at this yet, I'm having moments of good, but I am not where I want to be. I know what I want to be. I know where I want to go with my spiritual healing wellness journey. And I'm not there. And that's okay. I'm never really going to be there. This is a journey that never stops. Just like my fitness. My trainer and I were talking about this Friday about working out and stuff. He had a client asking, hey, so how, when do you stop working? Never. I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to not work out ever again in my life. I am never going to stop my fitness journey. I am never going to stop my wellness journey, my spiritual journey, my financial, just keep going. Now, that said, I am not going to be at my best every day, every moment, every week. I'm going to have bad months. But the mindset is that's okay. It's a moment. I've been on this earth almost 55 years. Double nickels is coming right around the corner, y'all. It's right here. And I've failed a lot. And I've also succeeded a lot. I didn't die. Right? I just missed my mark. I just failed. So instead of turning that into a negative, turn that in, okay, how did I fail? Why did I fail? What did I do that wasn't hitting the mark? What can I do to change that? That grace boundary, guys, is the biggest boundary that I have absolutely set for myself that has changed everything in me. Right? Boundaries aren't walls. We've got to start with that. A wall is negative. Sometimes you need it, and there's serious situations where you need to set walls to protect yourself. But they're not forever. Walls can get tore down from inside and out. We create walls with others. Walls are created because of interactions with people, places, or things that we don't want to be around or want to get at us anymore because it causes us pain in some way. A wall is created for and with somebody. A boundary is created for me and myself and only me. A wall can be torn down from outside in. A boundary cannot. A boundary only works in the inside of that boundary. And if you come in that boundary, well, then I'm just going to move the boundary. We're just going to move it. I go back to the yard, and this is the thing that was in my head. Like, so you don't have to be negative. And how are you going to tell that person if they keep coming and breaking your boundary? How are you going to tell them, dude, I am done? Right? You don't want to be negative. You don't want to cause a fight. That's a wall. You just simply take the boundary, and every time they step in it, you just move another direction. They step in it, you shrink it, and give it to others. You don't allow people inside your boundary or things inside your boundary that you don't want. Walls are not the same. So that's a very important thing to distinguish between. Boundaries are healthy. Walls are not. Okay? The other big thing is you don't have to tell everybody about your boundaries. You don't have to tell everybody about everything that you're doing to eliminate the negatives in your life, to get the bad stuff out of your life, to get things out of you that you don't want any longer. The more you start eliminating the bad things in your life, the closer you get to your true self. The harder it is to be unhappy. You just start nicking away little by little. Make it little, guys, to start. Make it so small and easy to start. Make it winnable. Show and prove yourself. I can do this. I can win. I can absolutely win. And once you start winning on those little boundaries, the next boundary is just going to be that much. I don't like to use the word easier, but it is. It's still challenging, but you're going to understand how to get through it, and you're going to have that memory back here, that muscle that says, hey dude, you've done this before. This may be a little bit more challenging, but you've done this before. You have the strength and the willpower within you. And eventually that voice gets a lot quieter, and the boundaries just keep growing, and they keep getting better, and they keep getting more beautiful. And they start to show you that you can do whatever you're setting your mind to. You can achieve the things that you want to achieve. And at minimum, you're going to have less pain in your life. You're going to have less misery. You're going to have less anger. You're just going to be a lot happier. And from that, things will start manifesting. Manifesting is another one that's coming up here shortly. So please, don't build walls. Set boundaries. And treat those boundaries with the most care that you can. And understand you're going to break your own boundaries at times. And that's okay. Set that grace boundary. Work on that one very heavily. Understand you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. There's just things that you're not going to be your best at that day, that moment, that time. And it's a moment. It's not your life. You're not failing. It's a long, long journey. And you have two options. You can continue to go down a path that I went down for many, 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 many years of my life. Or I can choose another path that I'm still going to have those voices. I'm still going to have those challenges. But I'm also going to have the knowledge and the know-how of I know how to set boundaries. I know that I can get through these things. And on the other side of these things, if I handle them correctly and properly and I do the right thing, there is peace. There is joy. There is love in my life. And then another journey, and then peace and love and joy. And you'll start finding the peace and love and joy in the hard moments. It's hard to understand. It's hard to believe until you start living it and seeing it. And it's not easy. But I promise you I'm here. I am not perfect at this. I struggle every day of my life at this. I do this to help me. This is one of my things that I do that helps me grow in this and understand. The more I talk about it, the more it sits in my head, and the more I understand, yes, I'm doing the right thing. Okay? So, that's it for episode 4. Boundaries. I know we covered a little bit more than that, but boundaries are not just, you can't do this to me, you can't do this to me, you can't do this to me. Boundaries are a lot. Boundaries are plentiful. Boundaries are yours. Your boundaries and only you. Don't put them onto others. You take accountability for your boundaries and you live with them, and you will find joy in your life. I appreciate everybody being here. Again, this is This Tree and Me. I am Cory J. Riggs. I am at Cory J. Riggs on all platforms. I have a TikTok, I have Instagram, and I have YouTube. I keep Facebook for my personal stuff. I hope that you would love to come and subscribe and follow and comment and share and message me, and we can start a dialogue. There will be some upcoming features with some email structures and things like that, and some other ways that I'm going to be getting information out to everybody and sharing some thoughts and some ideas and some writings. So I appreciate every single person who watches this. I would love to hear from you. It brings a lot of joy to me. It also helps me grow and understand. Maybe I'm not explaining things properly. Maybe I'm not giving you the information in the way that sits with you. And also, this is what's working. And so I can really start honing my skills in and really start focusing on where I want to go and how I can help myself, how you can help me, and how I can hopefully help others. I love you all. Be blessed.